Hello, this is Dominic. I'm doing an LP of Bloodborne, one of my favorite games for shits, because I have nothing better to do with my life. This, I guess, will be episode 1. We're going to be playing in online mode, even though no one really ever invades you because the invasion system in this game is not quite as good as FromSoft's other works. And I have to fucking delete one of my characters. That's great. I've made that many characters? Oh my god. Burb. Alright, we'll delete Burb.
Oh, yeah. Pale blood. Well, you've come to the right place. Yharnam is the home of blood ministration. You need only unravel its mystery. But where's an outsider like yourself to begin? Easy, with a bit of Yharnam blood of your own. But first, you'll need a contract.
Interestingly, having played this game probably 30 times, I see this scene and I still don't know what the actual fuck that guy is talking about. Name, well, the last one was named Burb. Let's name him Bob. Let's go with Bob. It's gonna be male. Mature, because I am not. And this will determine the build. I want to do Arcane, because that's one of the harder ones to do in this game. It's pretty Dark Souls-esque, where you pick pretty much a main stat and you build around it. But in this game, this game's far more weapon-centric than Dark Souls is. So, Cruel Fate. Interesting. Alright, Cruel Fate it is. Appearance doesn't really matter, because you're just going to cover your body. Go with a mature voice. I'm gonna be burly. Jesus. I'll be a ghost. This is actually reflective of me in real life. I go out into the sun for 3 minutes and I get sunburned till basically death. I don't want to fuck with any of that. How do you fuck with his hair? Face details? Features? Face shape? Skin? Oh, pff, hair. Alright, one thing you gotta change is the hair, because what the fuck? Oh my god, this actually looks like my roommate. What's funny is these are all the female hairstyles too. Just make him bald. No. Let's go with this. And you're gonna be fucking purple. Yes. Yes. No. Damn it. Oh, yeah. Okay. Alright. Anyways, that's all bullshit. So, like other FromSoft games, the plot, as you can see on the screen, is told completely through items and item descriptions. There's very, very little of this cutscenes and exposition.
Now, let's begin the transfusion. Oh, don't you worry. Whatever happens, you may think it all a mere bad dream.
Okay, Grandpa. The storyline in this game is much more cohesive and far less ambiguous than Dark Souls' storyline. However, one thing they don't do quite so well in this game, in my opinion, is really describe or give much information on the... Jesus, that's terrifying. On the motivation of your character. In all of these games, in the FromSoft games, your character never talks, and you just run around killing things, and if you're pretty unobservant, you don't know what the fuck's going on. You'll beat the game, and you won't know what's happening. But the motivation, wow. The motivation of the player characters in the Dark Souls games is you're some form of fucking undead and you're being inexplicably drawn to lighting a fire, right? That's pretty much the premise. In this game, your character really has no reason to be here, aside from the pretty cliche concept of just, I want power. Those are the little messengers.
Ah, you found yourself a hunter.
Hooray. And we start off in the clinic. Whoa. Okay. So, arcane builds kind of suck. Written, seek pale blood to transcend the hunt. So, okay, so like what I just said, it's foot and mouth. What your character's actually doing here is you're searching for the pale blood, whatever the fucking pale blood is. The entire concept of this game is blood is magical, and it gives you healing abilities, it enhances your abilities. Everybody seeks after the blood. There's a church, entire religion formulated around blood healing, the use of blood. And I'm assuming pale blood is like the ultimate blood. And the concept of this game is, if you get too much into blood, you turn into these things. You turn into beasts. You don't want to be a beast. Ow. That's a backstab. Forewarning. I am by no means... I need to turn the volume down. I am by no means an expert at this game. I'm not bad, but I'm not good. You can watch some people play this game and some people play through these games and they do no death, no hit runs. It's ridiculous. I'm okay. I've played through it so many times, you'd think I'd be better than I am, but... So, realistically what you do is you wander around, pick up items, and kill shit. And if you don't... See, these are messages generally left for by other players, one of the cool features. And you can rate them. I don't know if rating actually does anything. In Dark Souls it gives you a free heal. But anyways, item descriptions are everything in this game. You go into the item menu, and every item in the game has a description that tells you something about what's going on. Your basic items don't really tell you much, except from the hunter's mark, but effectively, what is happening in this game is you are in the midst of what is called the hunt. And the hunt is cyclical, but it doesn't ever give you a time frame of how far or how much time elapses in between hunts. But this hunt is, everybody's going crazy because it's like a plague, a beast plague from too much use of blood. Ow. And hunters, like your character, the player character is a hunter, are tasked with killing the beasts and stopping the plague. But in the context of the game, and where you are right now, it would appear that this hunt is particularly bad. And don't you hit me, wow. So where we are now is the Nexus. the Nexus. It's the Nexus is what it's called in Demon Souls. It's effectively it's the Nexus. And this is where you come back to level up, get new weapons, upgrade your weapons, equip runes, all the fancy stuff. And then you can leave from here to go wherever you want in the world, because you can pretty much teleport to most lamps. Lamps are the things I just sat at. Takes you to this place. The Hunter's Dream. This little doll, she is the one who helps you level up, but she won't be awake and walking around unless you have insight, which is in the top right corner. It's the number next to the little eye, of which I have none. You just pick your starting weapon here. If I recall, if you want to do an arcane build, which is elemental magic damage, you have to pick the saw cleaver. Well, you don't have to, but it's like the best one, because you need to find a blood gem. Blood gems are items that you put in weapons that switches its damage from physical to elemental, which will scale with the arcane stat. See at the bottom left. The problem with this is you don't get that blood gem for a while. You have to beat a few bosses, and you're not going to be building into damage for your weapon for a while, which is why a lot of people don't do arcane builds on their first playthrough, because it's just simply too difficult. So, the cool thing about this game that sets it apart, and in my opinion why it's better than the Dark Souls games, is because every weapon in this game is highly specific and unique from all the other weapons. In this game, you have two forms for a weapon. The untricked form and then the tricked form. And they have different move sets. You can do different shit with them. It increases their ranges, decreases their ranges. It allows for more varied gameplay, if you will. Whereas Dark Souls, there's weapon classes. Great swords, short swords, daggers, and all the move sets for those weapon sets are the same. So a bandit's knife will hit the same as a dagger, will hit the same as blah 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 in Dark Souls. But in this game, every weapon you pick up is going to behave incredibly different from every other weapon, which gives replayability a much higher marking, in my opinion. Which is why I prefer this game to Dark Souls, especially Dark Souls 3, which was, in my opinion, worse than Dark Souls 1 and 2. So we're going to go back to Central Yarnum, where we just sat down. I have a weapon now, which is nice. The idea here is to die. You were supposed to die in the beginning to the first beast that you see, but if you know how to beat him, you can kill him in one hit. So it was a critical hit, and then you can do what is called a visceral attack, which is the critical hit of this game. You don't actually use your weapon to do it, you use your hand, but it still scales with your weapon damage, which is good. So we're back. What's great about the trick weapons is to trick it, you push the L1, you untrick it, you go back. So that's nice. It gives you variability, but in combat, you can actually push it to do an attack, and it tricks it at the same time. And with the saw cleaver, that's particularly effective because there's a damage multiplier when you trick attack. There's a normal, there's the trick. My weapon flared out and I did damage. I attack again, there's the trick, and I trick back. And those do damage multipliers. So with this weapon, you want to be like tricking all the time. It's like doing shit like that to do more damage, and it's just incredibly fast. A lot of weapons don't swing anywhere near that fast. Anyways, we're going to talk to this NPC.
Oh, you must be a hunter, and not one from around here either. I'm Gilbert, a fellow outsider.
Hello, Gilbert.
You must have had a fine time of it. Yarnum has a special way of treating guests. Well, I don't think I could stand if I wanted to, but I'm willing to help if there's anything that can be done.
So he's clearly afflicted by the plague.
This town is cursed. Whatever your reasons might be, you should plan a swift exit. Whatever can be gained from this place, it will do more harm than good. Pale blood, you say?
I'm looking for the pale blood.
Never heard of it.
And he's
But if it's
a
blood
citizen
you're
here.
interested in, you should try the healing charm.
And then he directs us to the church.
The church controls all knowledge on blood known as the Cathedral Ward. And deep within Cathedral Ward is the old Grand Cathedral.
Old Castlevania style. Go through this place, then this place, then this place.
Special blood, or so they say. Yarnamites don't share much with outsiders. Normally they wouldn't let you near the place, but the hunt is on tonight.
The hunt.
This might be your chance. Across the valley to the east of Yarnum, you'll find the Cathedral Ward. Deep within lies the old main cathedral, said to be the source of blood. I haven't heard of pale blood, but that's your best bet if it's anything to do with unique types of blood.
You could just keep saying the same shit.
Across the valley
Yeah.
deep within, that's your best.
So that's just a little exposition. You can come back to this guy later and you can get a weapon from him, actually. Because as the game progresses and you kill more bosses, it goes farther and further into the night. And people start losing their minds. There's more NPCs that are usually behind locked doors like that. And we get a pebble. That's going to be our pull device that I'd never use because I'm stupid. Ow. This game has a unique feature. When you get hit, you have 2 to 3 seconds to be aggressive and strike back at the enemy who hit you, or just an enemy in general, to get the HP back that you've lost. And the idea behind that is it incentivizes you to be incredibly aggressive as you play the game, which is a complete 180 from games like Dark Souls, where if you're a new player to the games, the first thing you're going to want to do is put on stupidly heavy armor, a really big-ass shield, and get a really big-ass sword, and turtle yourself up. Ooh. This game is very much so about dodging, being quick. If you play Dark Souls and you like dexterity builds, this is the game for you. There are no shields in this game. You cannot block things, so if you get hit, you get hit. It's painful. You take a lot of damage in this game, more so than Dark Souls. Ow. No, don't you again. He killed me. Very punishing. Probably should have opened that door. I should have parried him. So you get a gun. The gun is your offhand weapon. The guns in this game do not do as much damage as a gun should. In this game, guns are used to effectively parry enemies. And a parry leads them open for a very strong attack, which will basically one-shot almost everything in the game if you're strong enough, aside from, like, of course, the bosses and larger enemies. It takes timing to parry, but it's easier in this game than it is in the Dark Souls games. When you die, your souls drop. Your souls drop on the floor. You want to pick those up, because souls are the currency. Souls are blood echoes. I call them souls. They're blood echoes in this game. See, I pick up the blood vials. That's your heal. That's in the top left. There's your souls right there on the ground. Sometimes the enemies pick them up, and you have to kill the enemy to get them back, which really sucks. Oop. Keeps doing the same attack. I need to parry him, but I'm... Ooh, spacing. There it is. So that's the parry. You run up, just do a regular attack, and you can see I used to do incredible damage with that. Oh, he had iframes. So when you roll in this game, or you dodge, you get iframes. You're invincible for a split second. The better you get at the game, the more you know where your iframes are, and the better you can dodge attacks. It's very intuitive. It's why these games are so well received, is because there's literal skill involved with not dying, as opposed to a traditional RPG where you could just level up to an absurdly high level and just trounce enemies. You cannot do that in these games. I mean, okay, you can. It's a lie, but it takes a lot more effort, and it's not really worth it because you get more satisfaction out of killing things skillfully, organically. That isn't to say that traditional JRPGs or Western RPGs don't have a certain allure to them to becoming godly in terms of your level and just absolutely trouncing everything around you, but that feeling of achievement you get from these games is a little more profuse. So this is another NPC. Yeah, they do not like outsiders. You always want to exhaust all dialogue. Oh, I don't know why I just did that. Fine. I guess I'll just have a seat. And you know, you play through the game enough, you know where enemies are placed, you know where the hidden ones are. I tried to be fancy there. Ooh. Oh my god, the hitbox on that torch. Get out of here. No blood vials? Alright. Not heal. Another NPC? Yes. And an item.
Are you that outsider? Well, sorry, but I don't want anything to do with you. Trot along, will ya?
Talk to me, friend.
Are you that outsider?
Oh my god, fine. I talked to that guy already. I know you're there. I know you were there. This game likes to do the magic pixel to you, and when you think an enemy's dead and they have 2 HP left, you're not going to be able to tell because their HP bar will be right at the end. That's incredibly annoying. Why aren't you... Tether to me. Thank you. Oh, I can't get that yet. Forgot. This part's actually pretty punishing for early in the game. It's one of the harder sections, considering your... What the hell was that? Oh, he fell. Nice little glitch. Here's where you would use... I'm gonna use the pebbles. I never use the pebbles. The explicit purpose of these is to fucking... Well, that was magical. Is to piss somebody off just enough to get them to leave the pack. And the idea here is to be super careful and pull them one at a time. I usually just run in gung-ho. When you first play through these games, you want to hold on to your blood echoes like they're a godsend, because that's how you level up. But if you're decent at the game, you kind of just stop paying attention to your blood echoes. Unless you have like an absurd amount of them, then you start getting a little itchy and you want to go back to the hunter's dream. But when you first start playing the game, it's really fucking harrowing to run around with even this many souls at the beginning is a few levels. The idea here is you want to get the snipers. So that was 3 trick attacks, 2 trick attacks, and they each do, I think it's 1.25. It is a damage multiplier. All weapons give you a damage multiplier on their trick attacks, all of them. Yeah, I'll trade with you. hear a dog. There's a dog. Ooh. Dogs are pretty shitty enemies because their whole body becomes a hitbox. Wow. When they attack, very annoying. I feel like there was an item there. Did I get it? I already don't remember. So the problem with this arcane build theory is, as weak as I am now, I'm gonna stay this weak for 3 bosses. Well, technically 2. I could skip one of them that's not necessary. Until I get the item that I need, and even then it's not gonna make me very powerful.
Well, Blue. Sat outside on the night of the hunt. Oh, you poor, poor thing.
You can hear the laughing too. Everybody's just kind of losing their mind. These guys can be pretty mean, but if you can get a visceral on them, if they're easy, and their parry window is gargantuan. You can pretty much shoot them at any time during that animation, and it'll hit them. And you can see you just do a shitstorm of damage. You can see there too, I attacked his body as he was in his death animation, and I was still able to get some regain on my health. That's a little, I don't know if that's a glitch or a notable exploit that they put in the game on purpose, but it's like really useful. If you trade with something and it dies, you can just keep smacking at its dead body for a split second until it gives you however much health back. It's very useful. See, like just there. Look, there's your magic pixel. Just working our way around. That was... Good thing is you can shoot the dogs. Oh, that was odd. Generally speaking, when you shoot dogs, their body flies off into the distance and it stuns them. It's really useful, actually. That sucks that I pissed off that sniper, though. Like that. That's what they do. Why are all these... I've never seen these dogs' AI jump them into this fence before. That's very odd. Give me my bullets. Whoa. You can only carry a maximum of 20 blood vials. Any excess you find gets stocked in a chest at the Hunter's Dream, the Nexus area. This part can be a bitch. Might actually die here. I don't actually remember how you pull just one of these. I know you can. I think I just pulled both of them. Uh-oh. Ooh, that's a parry. These things have a lot of health. Come here. I don't want to piss off your brother. Another one. Did you pixel out? Nope. You're dead. Not sure if the recording just stopped, so I'm gonna keep talking, just in case. The capture software on the PlayStation is just finicky and terrible. But I don't have enough money or patience to do a capture card. So here is our first shortcut, which will lead us back to the first bonfire. And if the recording worked, I guess this is where I'll call it quits. And I will see you in the next one.